You came into this world with nothing. You're going to leave with nothing. The time frame between coming in and going out, nobody knows. So what you know for sure is you have this moment, this here and now. And that's really what I think meditation is anchoring awareness into, right? The power of the now, of being, I'm here and I'm plugged in to the reality of what is.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to season 3 with Live and Thrive with Sharon podcast. And I am really just continuing to enjoy all of these conversations. And one of the intentions that I set for season 3 was to really just dive deep into the ocean and find and explore and find people who were not completely within my reach. So I had to really reach out and move beyond where my circles and my networks are so that I could find these new, beautiful human beings that are out there doing wonderful and amazing things. And today is no question that I have found an incredible human being. Her name is Mahima, and she is, yeah, she's blowing kisses for all of us on audio. We've already fallen in love. And it's just been such a wonderful pre-chat. And I can't wait for you to get to know her. And just a quick little introduction of Mahima is she's actually Europe's #1 self-mastery mentor, mindset trainer, and international best-selling author and award-winning speaker and founder of the Mahima Mindset. And you're going to absolutely love her as soon as we get her to talk and start sharing about her journey and sharing about what her passions are. But she is the first Black self-mastery mentor to have spoken at the Harvard Club of Boston in July of 2018. And in 2017, she got to share the stage with Sir Richard Branson at a business development event in Singapore. She's also had the privilege to share the stage with other thought leaders like Les Brown, Kevin Harrington, Lisa Nichols, Vishen Lakhiani, and Kane, and Alessia Minkus. And all of those people are people who I absolutely love and think have so much to offer to the world. And I just am so excited that now, after over 10,000 hours of meditation practice to date, that she has helped to transform the lives of thousands of people with her own unique creations, the inner peace formula. And own your superstar. And I'm so sorry I just messed that up, but that is just I read it and I was like, oh my God, this is my sweet spot too. Mahima, thank you so much for being here. I am just so excited to have you here, and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for the great introduction. It's always amazing to look back at what's gone on in one's journey, right? What one mountains that have been climbed and, things that have happened. So I'm so honored. And I just love meeting women like yourself that are out there doing what they love, making this world a better place. It takes courage to stand up and show up, right? So big respect and thank you, Sharon, for this opportunity.
Thank you. And I honestly, one of the reasons why I do what I do is so that I can help to amplify voices like yours.
Thank you.
What you're doing is incredible, and who you are is incredible. So thank you for coming, and thank you for being you.
Thank you. It's an honor, and I can't wait to deep dive and hopefully give some value today. From, if there's any way I can support anyone with little bits of what, my story and my journey has taught me along the way.
Yeah. So maybe just to give a little bit of background about, where originally you're from and how your journey to get to where you are now.
So I'm born in Zimbabwe. I grew up in Zimbabwe. With 23 years old, I found myself in India, in an Indian ashram. Going back to Zimbabwe, I grew up in apartheid. I grew, which, if you know what that is, it's a culture of hate, separation, segregation, and it's quite a challenging thing. And my grandparents and my great grandmother lived in a hut in Africa and gave birth to my grandfather, at least on one side of my family. The other side I don't know so much about because my father disappeared on me when I was a young child.
Mm.
I think I last saw him when I was 3 years old, and I don't know where he is right now. So, I have, people that lived in huts without running water and electricity in my lineage, right?
Mhm.
And I was brought up in a, middle class home with running water and electricity and all of that stuff.
Mm.
And so, yeah, so it's kind of like an African girl that had religion as well, Roman Catholic upbringing,
Oh.
and a bit of a messy childhood, messy, life until what I would call my awakening, until that
Mm.
moment where I came into contact with new information about myself, right? And it happened
Mm.
through a portal that was opened in this ashram setting that gave me access to a new way of thinking, feeling, and being. Um,
Mm.
and so, yeah, so that the Mahima that had, had all this experience in Africa, the trauma, there was physical abuse, there was
Mm.
emotional abuse, and there was sexual abuse too in my
Mm.
childhood. So there was
Mm.
quite, as I said, quite a lot of messiness, and I would never ever imagine that I could be in India and have that shift. So I do believe that we have no clue what life has in store for us, right?
You're
Your
right.
life can change dramatically through a decision you make with you don't even realize what you're making as a decision. And that
Yeah.
decision to go to India changed the trajectory of my entire life. And I can just say, I'm so glad I had the wisdom to recognize that and stay there and just ride that wave and totally transform myself and my life. So
Yeah.
that's like a nutshell of the story. In so Sharon.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I definitely want to dive a little bit into that. But I want to speak into the wisdom piece because that's so important, right? And so wisdom is just something we inherently have within us, right? It's not something that we can study or that we can read, or although reading is great and it can awaken things within us, but wisdom is the thing that's within us. And so I have to say that how beautiful that you allowed that awakening of wisdom to guide you to go to the ashram, right?
Yes, yes. I
And
was not, yeah, absolutely. I love that because I didn't even, I wasn't seeking, I have to tell you guys. So I didn't go to the ashram like, hey, let me go and find enlightenment. I just took a decision because I was broke. I was broken after a marriage that had separated. And then this person that knew about India and knew about enlightenment and knew about meditation said to me, stop, don't go further. Like, you're so young. Go to this ashram. He gave me the address, he gave me the place to go. He said, go and sort yourself out here before you do anything else, before you make any other decisions. I didn't know what I was saying yes to. I was like, okay, tears running down my face for a one-way ticket to India. Okay. So that's how it happened. And then I'm sitting in this ashram. There's all these people from all over the world, right? Like from Japan and China
yeah,
and Africa and America and all
yeah.
places in Europe. This eclectic group of people. Um, gathering around these teachings
Mm.
about, the power of the now, and asking the question, who am I? Who am I?
Oh,
And I didn't know what was going on. I was just like, what am I doing here? It's like I landed literally like an alien on another planet.
yeah.
That's how
Like
it felt.
I'm sure reeling from what you had just been through. So you probably weren't 100% even present in your body.
Exactly. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was just sitting there. It was my first day in the ashram, first day in the ashram. And in that first ever meditation,
Mm.
I had an awakening. It was amazing.
Wow.
I was like a dolphin that had been stranded on the beach, and on my last breaths. And then this whole meditation with all these crazy people from all over the world kind of pushed me back into the ocean, and I just started swimming again. So meditation was really the first um experience of self empowerment that I found. And it found me. I found it, however, came to be.
Oh,
And I had the unique experience of it being easy for me. Like
mm,
when I sat and closed my eyes, I could sit for hours. I could just sit and be for hours. It was
yeah.
amazing. And people would tell me this is very unusual. Like I'd be like, really? They'd be like, yeah, meditation is really hard. For like, I was like,
Yeah.
no, this world is amazing. I want to see. I don't want to do anything else. I just want to be
Yeah.
here. So I think when you find things that you love in life and that for whatever reason you have some kind of talent on, it's really exciting, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I just somehow my gift found me and I found it, and then I've been able to just ride that wave until today. Yeah.
Ride the wave like a dolphin.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
ride that wave, surf that wave, you know.
Play. Yeah. And I can imagine that dolphin,
There's been some
that
challenges for that
dolphin's,
dolphin.
yeah,
Do
the
not get me
spirit of the
wrong.
dolphin is so playful,
Yes.
right? So I can totally see that too. I love that. It's so true too that sometimes our heart needs to break in order for us to really break wide open.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious before we dive into present day and how you're serving, but I'm curious about I'm just reflecting about myself and also like the many people who I have been so blessed to work with. And there's always just this point, this tipping point, right? But there's so much when you follow the trail back, there's just so many things. Like I say that there were all of these God signs for me to get strong, right? And then there were also these other signs to me about what my natural gifts were. So patience and meditation are two of them, right? They just come so naturally, just like you. So
Mm-hmm.
I, I had a hard time wrapping my brain around the fact that other people had a hard time meditating because I'm like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me? I actually have a hard time bringing myself out of meditation. Like I could meditate for 6 hours and be like totally content and feel like it's 5 minutes. Um, but when I think back, I look back at some of my experiences from like the womb all the way until my kind of saying yes to my gifts, right? Because they were always there. Um, do that it just predisposes you towards that click, right? That you had like in the ashram, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
can you, when you think back and you follow the trail back from you're at the ashram and then prior to that, were there moments in your life that you found that you were meditating or that you were actually going into your own inner verse?
Yes, so I am, so I didn't say I was, I'm a dancer, right?
Mm,
And dancing, you become one with the source when you allow yourself to become the dance and anything creative. I'm an artist, I paint, right? I allow source energy, God energy, love, whatever you want to call it, to flow through me and allow me to create. I create music. I create music like I can create like rap. I've actually done a music album. So creativity is the place where I felt this divine energy would
yeah.
move me into places of stillness, especially dance when I was a young child and an adult growing up. I could
Mm,
escape into this world with the music, with my body, where
mm,
I could be there for hours just playing and moving and listening to music and dancing. And I didn't realize that was the communion with the divine essence
yes.
inside
Yeah.
of me. So that was definitely the vehicle and the place which allowed me to feel this expansion and
Mm,
to go into no mind and to feel open and grounded and alive and peaceful. But I didn't know that at the time, right? It's something I discovered later on that so that's what's happening there, right?
yeah.
that's that was my connection, and that saved me. I know that dance saved me from
Mm,
from my tragic childhood, because it was the place that gave me a sense of well-being. Yeah,
Mm,
healing. Yeah, but
yeah.
I didn't really know that back then, right?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah.
that's important to extract from this conversation because I know that there are people who are listening right now who need to understand this point, which is when you're actually moving through those challenging times and it's very painful. I almost feel like it's a wriggling through, right? Of sharp corners and turns and tight spaces, right? And you never really know how long or how far you're going to have to go in order to find your freedom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or find that ability to expand or to be on the other side of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm getting out of what you just said, it's so important, I think, to hear, which is how you move through it is going to be the way that you communicate with the universe.
Mm. Mm.
Right? So you danced your way through it, you moved your way through it, you connected in ways that felt right and felt good and also helped you get through some very challenging times. And I relate to that because I call myself the Forrest Gump of trauma. So like I from in the womb all the way through adulthood, like it was just,
Yes.
one thing after another. Um, but I think it's important for us to understand it's dialectical, right? In other words, like we can be experiencing one of the most challenging things in our entire lives in this moment and also have it be one of the best things that ever could be happening for you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
you get to be you in that.
Yes. This, I think that that level of comprehension, I believe, can only come after you've had some kind of an awakening and
Yeah.
you start to understand more about who you are and your relationship to life itself
Yeah.
and this world that we're living in, right? So
Mm,
most people are identified with life being um, all about the, like, the name. This is Mahima. This is
yeah.
my job. These are my kids. This is,
Yeah.
my tasks and what I'm supposed to do. So they're
Yeah.
very identified with what in my world I would say the I, the me, the ego.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's other part of ourselves which is much more, which is so much more, right? Our soul, our essence, who we truly are. Um, Kind of gets lost and forgotten in the mix of things, right?
Yeah.
And becomes all about the routine of dealing with problems and, challenges and trying to survive, in a sense, this crazy thing called life.
Yeah.
I think when you have a deeper awakening, there is a realization that this all is just a game. You came into this world with nothing. You're going to leave with nothing. The time frame between coming in and going out,
Mm,
nobody knows.
mm,
So what you know for sure is you have this moment, this here and now. And that's really what I think meditation is anchoring
mm,
awareness into, right?
mm.
The power of the now, of being, I'm here and I'm plugged in to the reality of what is,
Yeah.
right? As opposed to living in the fantasy of what I don't want, or the past, the future,
Yeah.
my fears, my concerns, right? So I think that awakening is a super essential thing, and that can happen.
Yeah.
It happened to me through being surrounded by thousands of people in a hall that created an atmosphere where I think many people could awaken. I don't think I was the only
Mm,
person who, had that, wow, there's more to me, and I could feel it and experience it. It wasn't just a thought in my head. I sat there and I felt this opening where my mind went silent. The noise of my emotion became flat, like a calm ocean, and there was
mm,
just peace. There was
mm.
just light and love, where before had been,
Right.
trauma, thoughts, busyness, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I think that the key is to understand, if you're stuck in that ego mind place where you feel like
Mm.
peace is impossible, um you know, that's because something needs to still crack open, as you said,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And maybe
Yeah.
this conversation might be that thing that cracks you open, right? Maybe
Yes.
a workshop you meet, maybe somebody you meet, like, you know,
Mhm.
everyone has their moment to get to that
Yeah.
place where it's like something truly transforms inside of you. And now your identification with life as being a form of suffering, and then you die, changes, right? And it
Yeah.
becomes, I'm in this body here in this moment, in this present moment, to experience myself and to see what can I do with my thoughts, my feelings and actions. How can I create? And then there, and that's what I love to show people, that joy, that light, that peace. Let's build that muscle, because we've
Yeah.
built the negative focus. Now let's build
Yes.
the soul focus, right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And so that was beautiful, Mahima. And I also just want to say to those of you who are listening on audio, look at the YouTube video and see her moving as she's explaining this. It is absolutely, it's an embodiment. You are literally embodying what you're saying, and I can see it. And I can also see the spirit of your ancestors moving through you as you're doing that as well. Right.
Thank you. Yes, the
Yeah.
African, you know, woman is
Oh
part of my vibe.
God,
Can't get
it's
away from it.
delicious. I'm going, I want.
I'm just gonna like start stamping my feet and dancing, like that. Yeah, that authentic self. I wouldn't have known how to allow it, give permission to it,
Yeah.
right? And that's just something that through my mentors, I've had some of the best mentors, Lisa Nichols, or just like showing me, and and I'm so willing to learn everything there is about finding your authentic voice and expressing
Yeah.
yourself authentically in the world. And I wish more people would give themselves permission to do that, actually, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and I think that they are, because there are catalysts like you and I who are moving through it and who have moved through it and said yes, even
Mm-hmm.
when nothing around us looked like we should, right? It was just like,
Yes.
this makes no sense whatsoever, but okay.
Absolutely. And I just love your energy of this grounding. I love when you told about that, meditation was easy for you. I
Yeah.
haven't met a lot of people who say that. So,
Mm.
hello, Sharon, my soul sister.
I know.
Like, it's not common. It's not common. People mostly like, nah, meditation, easy. No, no, no. So I just love this. I think you're one of the few people I've met in quite some time. So
Well, and this also is like, it's like, really, it's still,
yeah.
so isn't it funny how we're still just, we, not that we take anything for granted, but we just are so common with our essence, right? That
Mhm.
we don't always see it as anything unique or special, but we are special.
Yeah, and the thing is that the actual meditation is the daily life. That's for
Yeah.
me. Yeah, what you
Yes.
do on the mat, whether you spend half an hour, 15 minutes, 1 hour, whatever, that's nice. Okay, but that's when that's over is when the real meditation begins, right? Bring
Yes.
your focus back into the now, to try to operate with the highest level of lightness and self-love and
Mm,
self-respect, and
mm,
therefore you can give that to other people. And that's the practice, I say. That's the real practice.
yeah.
And I wish more people would really understand that, right? That it's great that you do a daily practice, let's say however long you meditate for,
Mhm.
but know that as soon as you rise from that meditation, the real practice is beginning.
Yes, a
Yeah,
hundred
because
percent.
yeah, because when life is going well, and things are going your way, it's easy to feel, wow, life's beautiful and I'm so grateful. But when you get slapped down, when you get punched in the face, when you get kicked in the gut
Mm,
by life, because it's
mm,
gonna happen, you know,
mhm.
like I think no matter how much meditation you do, you can't escape the reality. I call it the nature of reality.
Yeah.
And it's one of the core teachings that I teach people, right? If you take a circle and then you draw a line down the middle, and on one side of the circle, you write good, you're going to write bad on the other side. Yeah.
Correct.
You're going to
Yeah.
write light, dark.
Dark.
You're going to write,
Mhm.
happiness, sadness. You
Mm,
know, this is the reality of planet Earth. You can't have the happy without the sad. You can't have the light without the dark. You wouldn't
right.
even know what light is if
That's
dark
right.
didn't exist. So these two are necessary for the composition of what's happening here on planet Earth. Now,
Yeah.
if you go further and you can reach like a more expanded or bird's eye view,
Mm,
you will see that they're two sides of the same coin. So when happiness comes, lean in, go for full expression. I see people like, who don't be too happy, don't be too happy. Things might go wrong. As like things will go wrong. Okay. Do a happy dance. Happy is here. Okay. Like, like go all in. You know what I mean? Let
yes.
the happiness be all inside of you, right?
Yeah.
You don't know
Yeah.
how long it's going to last for. You don't know when the slap gonna come, right? So no, make hay while the sun shines for sure, right? And
Yes.
then when the challenge drops, whatever it is, something, maybe, yeah, it could be a death, could be, whatever it is,
Mm,
you prepared. You're like, I expected you. I say, when trouble knocks on your door, you're not like running out, like, what? You're like, I saw you coming. Please come in, take a seat. I prepared some cookies. I'm prepared for you. Like, let's
yeah.
do this. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Like,
That's
yeah.
right. Because we
Yeah.
also see that as our teacher, our greatest teacher,
Mm-hmm.
right? So,
Such an opportunity.
but I love how you are parsing out the concept of meditation and you're programming into it so that even subconsciously that people will just know that meditation is not a binary thing, right? Where it's just like, oh, I know I've just being in this space, in the healing space for a long time, everybody kind of like finds these catch things, right? So it's like getting into the alpha state, the theta state, the this state, the that state, right? So all they're doing is they're just like, I need to meditate because I want to get to that. And I'm going to judge everything about my meditation if on whether or not I get there.
Yes.
And and
Yes.
so for me, I see how that really takes us out of the whole purpose and intentionality behind mindfulness and meditation, which is presence, which
Yes.
is
Yes.
surrender, which is nothingness, which is non attachment. So when we're attached to an outcome, then we're right. So I love
Yes.
how you this is very skillfully done, and I want uh, our listeners to understand that this is a very skillfully applied way of laying out a meditation practice the way that you're doing it, right? Because you're setting
Mhm.
people up for the reality of life
Yes.
and of
Yes.
presence.
Absolutely.
I love
Yes.
that.
And I actually say to people, we can actually drop the word meditation because it has so much, it has so, there's messiness around there, right?
Yeah.
For me, same as the word God. God has,
Yeah.
it's people like, I don't believe in God. I don't know, right? So
Yeah.
I want to say, how do we develop? Because we still need to put our spiritual being
Mhm.
inside of the game. Like like
Yes.
we're spiritual beings, right? And this is not, as you said, spiritual, voodoo, whatever, right? I mean,
Right.
it's scientifically proven that
Yes.
we energetically vibrate and that this
Yeah.
vibrational frequency can communicate intelligently with the energies around us, like
Mhm.
trees or plants, or the moon, that you're affected by the rays of the sun and the moon, and so this is a reality that we're not separate entities. We're part of the whole cosmos and everything that's going on here, energetically and spiritually.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important that we, still have spirituality on the table, but maybe try to find perhaps new ways of expressing it
Mm.
so that it can stay on the table, right? Because people say, oh, let's not talk about God because, we might, you know,
Offend
alienate
someone
some
or
people.
lose
Exactly,
yeah. Mhm.
exactly. And I think, okay, true, but What are the words? Let's co-create words that we can all agree with, right?
Mhm.
Is it
Mhm.
spirit? Is it soul? Yeah. Is it, what words can we come up with that
Yeah.
people can reflect and look at and say,
Yeah.
there's this body is a container for
Yeah.
something, right? What
Yes.
is that something? There's something that's in the body, a consciousness, an awareness, whatever you want to call it, that will one day leave the body. The consciousness is gone, right? But the body's still here. So let's find ways of uniting us so we can talk about these things in the office, in the boardroom, in the places
Yes.
where they matter, instead of,
Mm.
oh no, now all we have to do is just have mind conversations. No, 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 no. We need to have spiritual conversations. That
Yes.
might mean we sit together in a boardroom and everyone just breathes and says, let's
Yeah.
just take a moment to center ourselves, to ground ourselves, to feel our heart so that we can speak from a place of love and wisdom, right? And get out of our busyness and our craziness. And, and I don't know if this is freaking people out, like, yeah, meditating in a boardroom. No, right? Like, we need this. And this is the feminine energy. This is the
Yes.
female voice saying we need to
Mm.
do things differently. Let's get out of the
Mm.
head. Let's get into the body. Let's get into the
Yes.
heart. Let's get into feeling vibrational frequency and understanding that you bring something to a space. You bring anger. You bring rage. You
Mm.
bring prejudice. And you're vibrating that frequency, right?
Right.
And, we want to create more harmony. We need to find a
Mm.
way for people to take responsibility for what they're vibrating, what they're putting out, and start to
Mm.
look at how they can change that, not because of the words coming out of their mouth, but where they actually enter the room and you feel accepted, you feel seen, you feel heard, you feel their vibration frequency
Yeah.
of love. So,
Yeah. Oh
Missy
gosh, I
Sharon,
love that.
I'm just going here because I
Oh, I
get
love
so
it. I'm like,
passionate.
I'm like eating it like it's dinner. Like this is such wonderful. I'm feasting on this. So this conversation is bringing me back to a time in my life where I was not as probably as present or as mindful. However, um being connected to gifts and connection, a connection to higher power has been what saved me and has been part of my existence all of my life. And so at one point in my life, I was a director of a homeless shelter. And so we did a lot of community stuff. And I became well known as like a speaker. So because I was very much an advocate. And so I was the one who was always kind of out there, the squawk box, right? So I was asked by a large national organization to do some speaking for to get more funding, right? And to ask for more funding. So we had a very, very expensive dinner, right? That people paid to come to see me speak. And I was supposed to come to bring someone with me who
Mhm.
had gone through the program and was successful, right? And so there was this huge amount of pressure, right, on putting on this. There's something inside of me that didn't feel right about it, because I felt like it was a little bit of a dog and pony show, and I don't like ever making anyone's life a spectacle. But I was going with it, and the bottom line is I went to go to pick the woman up,
Mhm.
and she couldn't do it. She wouldn't even open the door.
Oh, wow.
She said, "I can't go," and I
Oh,
was
wow.
so my human mind was like, but you must, because everyone paid all of this money to hear your
Yeah.
story and to hear me talk. Like,
Yeah.
so like we're a package deal, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And and she's like, I just can't. And I said, okay, I accept your answer. And
Wow.
so I got in the car, and like the 15 minutes on the way, I was like, man, oh man, like,
Yeah.
what am I going to do? I have hundreds of people at this very fancy place, right?
Mm.
Clinking their glasses, waiting to hear this great thing and have this whole story. And I thought, oh, how am I going
Wow.
to do this? So I
Mhm.
went in and I could feel so I can feel energy and I can read um, things. And so I went in and I could feel just all of this kind of dynamic, right? And all these different people, and coming from very, just obviously with success also comes a lot of living in the mind, right? So there were a lot of people like just all living in their minds and whatever. And so I went up to the podium, and everybody just like silently like hushed and then looked at me, and I was like, okay, here we go. So I did just that, what you said. I said,
Mm.
I just want us all to connect for a second and just breathe. And let's just be
Mm.
present. And I'm going to share with you the truth of the reality of what is, with dealing and working with serving people who have had a really challenging life.
Mm.
And now, when they get to the point that they're on the other side, they don't want to be a spectacle. And I told them exactly what happened before I arrived there.
Oh,
And I
oh,
said, the bottom line is no means no. And we must honor each individual. And like, and it's like a 20-minute conversation or whatever. But the point is that we came to, if I just started to have the conversation, I didn't bring them together by breathing, centering, grounding, connecting, right? And
mm-hmm.
presence, that conversation would have been a bleep show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Yes.
But I just intuitively knew I need to bring people close into their own center,
Yes.
into their hearts, into their humanness and
Mm-hmm.
soulness, right? And have this be relatable to everyone. So that's exactly what I was thinking about as I was listening to you, because I think it's so important that anywhere we go, include especially boardrooms,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
we must continue our journey and our path of infiltrating that. And actually it's very well received now, I have to say,
Yes.
like conscious leadership, and that is
And I
definitely.
love what you're saying about reading the energy, reading the room, seeing what's going on,
Yeah.
and being brave enough to be a leader and say,
Yeah.
guys, let's just take a moment here. The energy in this room is not the place where we're going to get the most, but that we're going to get the most of. And if you
Yeah.
ask, just is anyone else feeling this funky energy? I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. But it's about being brave enough to do it.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be the women. I do think it's going to be the women that are
100%.
going to get that courageous voice, and women, whether you're a woman or feel like a woman, right?
Mhm.
It's just that feminine energy is the point. That
Yes.
that
Yes.
female energy that speaks through, whether you have a man
Mm.
body or woman, and expresses this, guys, there's another way of us being together, even here. And going further into that topic of meditation, I say
Yeah.
meditation, it's self-love, it's listening. It's,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. It's meditation is a love affair with yourself.
Yeah.
So many people say to me, I'm a good listener. And I'm like, are you sure? Okay. Because for me, a good listener starts with listening to yourself.
Yourself. Oh,
Yeah. Listening to the truth that's inside of you, moment to moment to moment. Your intuition is the
mm.
voice of your soul, right?
Yes.
And meditation is tapping in and listening. So you know where you
Mm.
are emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. You're not running and escaping away from yourself. You're not trying to, tell yourself, "Oh, I'm good," when you're in deep pain, or
When you're not.
feeling, yeah, when you're
But
not, or saying, "I'm okay," when you're hurt and feeling really upset. No, meditation is cut the crap, and I'm
yeah.
just be here with myself and listen, get
Yeah.
to know what's happening inside of me. And that's all it is. It's self-love and self-care. And it's the step that's going to allow you to be able to listen to your son and really hear what he's saying, as
Yes.
opposed to just be listening, kind of waiting to say, wait a minute, no, 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 or whatever it is. Right. So yeah, listening is one of the most challenging things. I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
Oh,
Right.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and 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 to listen and react to the wisdom, because it's one thing to hear your soul saying, please, can we take more time for quietness and calm. It's one thing to hear that, and then just override that and just keep fucking, moving forward with your ego's agenda, right? Why do
Yeah.
people break down these days? Break down, burnout. It's all a lack of listening, right? Because it's
Yes.
all there. The information is all there in your body, it's
Mm.
all there in your heart, it's all there in your energy system. And if you just take moments every day to say, the relationship with myself is the most important relationship that I'm ever going to have, because I'm with myself 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for an unknown period of time.
Yeah.
So for me, it's about feeling comfortable in my own skin. It's about feeling safe inside of myself, that I don't
Mm.
have this angry person inside of me just cutting me down, just, you know, tearing me up, like that voice that many people have
Yeah.
in their head telling you
Yeah.
you're stupid, you're not good enough, you're this, it's not enough. How exhausting. Imagine
So
having
exhausting.
the tools to be able to turn that voice down and
Oh,
hear a more gentle voice that says, everything's fine, we're okay. And it's not fake. It's not like you're trying to tell yourself a story. It's a real sense of returning back to the source of your essence that you were born with, actually.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
talked about that earlier now, Sharon, yeah, that it's not learning something new. It's returning back to what you were born
Mm.
as, this wisdom that is inside of you. And
Mm.
that's all meditation is. It's just coming back to yourself, right? And
Yeah.
feeling, happy in your own skin. And,
Mm.
and from there, being able to, I guess, have more fun in the world, because you're not fighting against yourself all the time and ripping yourself to pieces.
Yeah. Yeah. Up
Yeah,
100%. And
you
I
like
think that,
yourself, and you develop a bond, and you heal back, actually, the let's say, the voices that told you you're stupid, you're not getting, like, which I had, right?
mm,
The people that touched me inappropriate and did funny things and then caused these things to be inside of me. Meditation is the tool that's going to help you to to heal, to transform, to move through, because you see that this is the traumatic part, the Mahima that's traumatized. That's the I,
yeah.
but you're this. And now you let this flow through the I and start to
Mhm.
heal and transform. So, most of the work of trauma and trying to help people go deeper is focused on trying to figure out what this is doing. And I'm like, no, let this be. You're never going to fix it. Never. Like, there's never a moment you're going to wake up and go, I fixed myself. Like, no, you're going to find
Right.
some
That
other
never
shit,
happened. Right.
right? You're going to find some other shit that needs fixing,
Yeah.
right? Like, let's say you have anger problems, and then you become a little less angry and you feel a little bit more like, that's great. And I'm happy for you, but you'll just find other problems that you need to sort
Yes.
out. So it's about
Yeah.
accepting yourself as you are, allowing yourself to feel this, I'm whole and not broken space,
Yes.
and then operating there and letting that start to heal these other aspects of
Mm.
yourself, right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. You aren't broken. And that's part of my message too, which is you're
Yeah.
not broken. And all of
No.
the things that you were told about yourself that were wrong were so right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, I forget that this is a podcast because I wanted to draw something.
Yeah. You
For
can, well,
those of,
but the
yeah, I just drew a
YouTubers will
little
see it.
circle. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just drew a little circle. So this is the I, the me, yeah, the ego.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to put in the, and this is you. This is the soul. This is the soul. This is
Mm.
the spirit, right? So guys, if you seeing this on the not on video, I just drew a little circle inside of a big circle, right?
Yeah.
And the little circle is the story. My name, I'm Mahima. I'm from Zimbabwe. I was sexually abused. This and that happened to me. Or even I shared the stage with Richard Branson. I created an international company that travels all over the world. I had this incredible husband, 23 years of conscious relationship. That's all part of the small me. Okay.
Yeah.
Because at one point that story will dissolve back into the ocean of being, right? So
Yes.
real me is beyond the story, right? And when my teacher, and I spent 5 years in India just staying with one teacher and learning, because I was so identified with the small part of me
Yeah.
that, and it always caused me to feel not enough, right?
Mm.
Nothing was good enough. I mean, I would have the most awesome thing happen. I would enjoy it for 2 seconds and then back to, oh no, but I need this now. And I now need that. But
Right.
it's endless. It's endless, right, Sharon?
Yeah, it's always, it's
The
always going to
needy
be there.
more, exactly. And
Yeah.
so understand that meditation is the tool that connects you, and maybe there's other tools, I don't know, that connect you to your soul, to this
Yeah.
place of I'm whole, I don't need anything. I
Yeah.
came to this world with nothing, I'm going to leave with nothing. So I don't need anything to feel peace, to feel joy, to feel
Yeah.
abundant, to feel happy, to feel alive, right?
Yeah.
That is just my nature. And then I get to play in this world as Mahima
Yes.
with all of, all of the whatever this is, right?
Yes. The essence of you is
Yes.
endless. The essence of you is endless. And that's what I'm hearing out of this, is that, we can identify um with something, the dis-ease of whatever it is that shows up in our physical body or in our experiences, or people always ask, well, what do you do? Well, who are you? And I'm just like, I'm me. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
um, and so I'm a marketing nightmare, right? Because I'm like, no, I don't like that box. No, I don't want that box. Like, how can we come up with language that just shows endless possibilities of expansiveness,
Mm.
right? So, um, so I love how you're really bringing that home through the idea and the concept of the soul and the self, because many of us really identify with this physical being, right? And then things inside of it. So everything that's inside of it always must be smaller because it's from physical, like the relation of physical size, right? But really, the thing is that our soul, even though it speaks to us many times through our heart, right? So my spiritual belief is that our soul is housed in our heart, right?
Mhm.
However, if we were to go into the expanse of your heart, it would just go on for infinity. Right. And so that is so big. It's so big, so big. We can't even draw a circle around it. Right. It's just endless. And the more we get into connection with the universe and with our souls, then we are in connection with the infinite, which means I know nothing.
I love that.
Right.
Yes, yes, yes,
Um,
yes, yes.
yeah. So beautiful.
Yes, I know nothing. That is so true. That is so true.
Yeah.
And mm, uh, if more people could allow themselves to live in that space of
Mm.
the true wisdom, right? Because the
Mm.
intellect has taken over. So mind
Yes.
is full of knowledge,
Hmm.
knowledge that doesn't necessarily serve us, knowledge that most of it's useless, to be quite honest with you. I know that a lot of what I learned at school, of course, if you specifically want to do something, you are going to need to get some mind wisdom. So,
Yes.
we've built a lot of science and a lot of good things. But in terms of the relationship with self and the
Mm.
world, that needs another wisdom. That needs another wisdom. And I wish that they would teach that at school.
Yeah.
Wish that
Oh,
schools would have this wisdom, yeah, of the soul, wisdom of the spirit, and have that integrated into learning the mind wisdom. And
yeah.
that would create a more balanced human, right? Who understands the power of his mind, but also the
Hmm.
power of his spirit and his soul, and what he's capable of creating outside the realm of what the mind can know, right? So to give you an example, like I downloaded that I needed to be an entrepreneur when I was 23. And I had no clue, Sharon, how I was going to manifest this. I just knew that I couldn't go back to Zimbabwe and go back to my old life.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that something had happened here in this India trip with all this meditation that allowed me to know, without knowing how I knew, that I could create something extraordinary, right? And I would create little miracles all the time, like
Mm.
just like small things that were happening to show
Yeah.
me there is a correspondence between what is in my head and my
Mhm.
heart and what
Mhm.
is going to come into my life. There is a
Yeah.
relationship,
Yes.
right? And when I see the students that come on our campus, they're not in that relationship. They're very much in their mind trying to do stuff. But what you said, the soul voice, right, isn't in the conversation. So they're not creating that magic. And
Mm-hmm.
once they start, miracles start happening. Things that they were trying to do for years, like, just suddenly start happening. And they're like, oh my God, this is crazy. I don't understand how this is happening. I'm saying that's the magic of your soul, which you haven't yet been taught about, because you've been taught about
Yeah.
the power of the mind, right?
Right.
And
Right.
the mind only has so much it can go to, right? And not everybody is going to have a brilliant mind and be able to do, science and go down their path. Not everyone is born with those talents. Some are going to be artists. Some are going to make things with their hands. Some are going
Yes.
to, go in the earth and be gardeners. And there's so many intelligences that are not honored in school,
Mm.
because it's all about, like, how smart are you, right?
How
Can
much
you
can we shove in the brain?
exactly?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then if we would change that, if people would have the opportunity to really follow their intelligence, yeah, the
Yeah.
kids should have more hours at what they're good at.
Mm.
Imagine if that would be your school. Like, you're not good at maths, okay,
Yeah.
okay, let's give you more hours of what you are good at, you
Right.
know, as
Right.
opposed to, no, you're falling behind. You need more hours of maths. I know it
Yeah.
sounds crazy for some people. They're like, this woman is not, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe some of you are thinking, yes, yes. I don't know how this is coming across, Sharon, to,
Well,
your
honestly,
audience,
the
right?
thing that I love the most is when I walk away from people and then I turn around, they're just like, they have this look of
What
confusion.
just
So
happened?
I hope that did cause a little like, "Huh?" Like the puppy dog ears going twisting. What?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it's true. I agree. And actually when my youngest daughter was I think she was in third grade, she was really having a hard time in school. There was just a lot of overwhelm. She's a highly sensitive person. And so all of the lights and the noises and the this and the that were very overwhelming for her, but she's really intelligent. And so it got to the point where we spoke about homeschooling. And so I had had my own business at that time, and I was a professional equestrian, and I had a bunch of horses that I was in charge of, and I spent the whole day, interfacing with beautiful people and animals. And so I thought, well, you can just come and be with me, because that was something that she loved and something that she knew. And she went, and so for a year, she spent her days with me every single day, meeting with the veterinarians, learning how to scrub before an intra-articular injection, learning how to care for in wrap wounds, learning how to exercise and care for horses, nutrition, all of this stuff, right? And, and she was in fourth grade,
Mm,
and she was doing all of this.
mm,
And the I don't think she even really can wrap her brain around that, but I guess the point is that we honor the soul and the spirit of the individual, and we look at how they're responding to their environment, and we give them what they need, period.
yes,
Right?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that would,
It's
like, kids are struggling. We know that things are coming apart in this world, like, that I didn't need to deal with as a child. I didn't need to worry if I'm going to be, badly bullied
yeah.
stabbed, or, I mean, and you could say, well, that's in bad areas. I don't know what is happening in the other areas. There's other
Right.
stuff that goes on, right? Maybe alcohol, drugs,
Yeah.
I do not know, right? Under pressure, they start popping pills. So everywhere is something going on, I think, for kids that that I know that I didn't even
Yeah.
deal with or even think about.
Yeah,
So
I think through our own evolution of what we're being prepared for, I think that we are going to see more and more children who are highly sensitive and have these beautiful neurological superpowers, right? Because those superpowers allow a whole new spectrum to be seen, right? Where we wouldn't have seen before. So I do think it's divine design, but I guess the circling back to what you're talking about, which is just like honoring the self, and really it's a love affair of self, and really learning how to listen. And I've just gotten so much out of this conversation. And if anything, just, it's nice to soul speak.
Yes, yes, it is.
Just
Thank you so much.
so nice to soul speak. And you, your essence is just so beautiful. And what you stand for and the way that you deliver your message it is artwork.
Thank you so much, Sharon, for this opportunity. And yeah, it's a labor of love. Okay,
Yeah.
you know, I'm so honored every day that I get to do what I love. I tell you, I pinch myself. I'm always like, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
get it.
but it didn't just happen.
Right.
I intentionalized this. I kept making powerful decisions. I
Yeah.
could have gone left where my mind wanted to take me to the logical place of safety and security and whatever. And I kept listening to my heart. And so
Mm.
that's something. And there were times I didn't listen to my heart. And
Mhm.
also that was valuable lessons for me, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I knew this, right? And that's
Yeah.
important to acknowledge too, because it's
Yes.
those moments where you know that you had downloaded this isn't the right thing, but you did it anyway because
Yeah.
the mind took over, right?
Yeah.
Want to acknowledge it and go, yep, my spoke to me, my intuition was clear, but my mind thought, I followed the logical mind. And so when
Right.
that doesn't work, acknowledge that, because then that's going to allow you to be able to become even better at making intuitive soul decisions, because you own
Mm.
all of it, right? You own
Mhm.
when you
Mhm.
followed your soul and it works, and you own when you followed your mind and you already knew what the soul wanted you to do and you
Y-
didn't listen, right?
Yes. Yes. Yep. Everything is perfect. Everything
Yes,
is perfect because it's about growth, right? And so we don't grow without there being some sort of it's quantum metaphysics, right? We need to have a drag in order to be able to pull forward,
exactly.
So yeah.
And my toughest lessons have made me strong.
Yes.
Fact.
Yeah.
Fact. The
Yeah.
shittiest things that have happened to me are the things that really made me go, okay,
Yeah.
next level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Fuck. Okay, now I really get to test the theory. I test
Yeah.
teachings, like let's go, right? And listen, COVID has been a super special time, I think.
Mm.
Many people, there's a lot of disruption, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this continues to pan out and unfold, right?
Yeah.
If there was COVID, there was before COVID, then there
Mm-hmm.
was COVID. And I don't know, are we experiencing post-COVID? I guess we are, but
Mm.
it's a new world, is what I can say. And
Oh,
and
yeah.
this period of these last 2 years were a huge amount of growth, and especially last year. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if you guys felt those vibes, but last year was
Mm-hmm.
disrupt. In my life, it just kept on coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just
Mm-hmm.
kept on coming.
Mm-hmm.
And what I felt, it was all about letting go of that which no longer serves me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really digging into, what do I really want? Like, if
Mm.
I'm not like just trying to tell myself the story of I should do this or I should do that, right?
Yep.
'Cause everything has been so disrupted that you really had to rebuild from new. And why
Yeah.
not build something that you're truly excited about, right? Because if everything
Mm-hmm.
gets crashed down to the ground, that's a great opportunity to say, well, in the rebuild, I didn't like this. I didn't like, so let's not put that back into the picture. Let's keep that
Yeah.
out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
So it's been a very, yeah, productive time for growth, I think.
Yeah, none of us are sitting sterile from this experience, right? If you and I are still here, that means that we're still called to move through it too, right? So, and
Absolutely.
and it's also beautiful to be at the point where you are, where you've really moved through a lot of these ascension pieces, right? That have been catalysts for you to find right now what your gift is to the world and to continue to evolve and expand. and reach and serve greater. I think it's wonderful. I know that you have we're coming to a close soon, and I know that you have something that you wanted to offer our audience.
Absolutely. I wanted to offer something what we call our membership with us.
Mhm.
Come and join our family and tribe, and start going into some of this work if you
Yeah.
feel moved to. So it's absolutely free. You will get three of our award-winning products. Actually, one of them is my international best-selling book that you will get with this free membership,
Mm,
and you will also get and in the book is my inner peace formula. It's my three most powerful things you need to know about getting to inner peace on a more daily and consistent level. And
mm,
it's an easy read. People love it. They say once they start reading it, they can't put it down. So it's very juicy, and you start
mhm,
transforming immediately. Yeah. And then the other thing is what I call my 7 days reprogram your mind.
mm,
And it's just because, you know, we're thinking in a certain way.
mhm,
And in the
mhm.
7 days reprogram, I just put different thoughts into your mind, like ideas of what if you looked at love in this way? What if you looked at
Yeah.
connection from this point of view? So I highlight a few points and just kind
Mm,
of get you seeing these things from a different perspective, and therefore
mm.
starting to change your perspective of how you view yourself and the world around you. And it's 15 minutes a day. It's super easy to do, and people have told me so much good things that come out of just this one program alone. And then on top of that, I'm going to give you my 21-day meditation challenge. For those of you who are like, meditation, you're going to love it because it's going to give you that, starting that love affair with yourself where you get to
Mm,
spend 15 minutes a day just being face to face with you in a gentle, loving, and kind way. And those
mm.
15 minutes, honestly, they're going to go by like this. And most people are like, I wanted to sit for longer. I'm like, why don't you? I just
Yeah.
get you started on 15 minutes and you just
That's,
keep on going, right?
yeah. Oh,
So and even advanced meditators have told me that they loved the 21-day meditation challenge because maybe they'd stopped meditating, and they just wanted to get back on track. And so this, gave them the okay, it's a challenge, let's go 21 days, and then they were
mm.
back in the saddle. So it's a beautiful thing. You get those three programs absolutely free. You just have to go to the mahimamindset.com and free/free, mahimamindset.com/free, and you'll get this juicy stuff. So yeah, Sharon, thank you for allowing me to give that gift to your beautiful audience, and for
Oh,
also the
thank you.
opportunity to have been here today and just had so much fun with you. What an electrical woman. What a powerhouse. I am so impressed with the story of just having the courage to tell the truth in that moment
Mm, mm.
when all those people were there and that expectation is so brave, and the truth sets us free,
Yes.
and you do that, and but you did create that safe space for it to be received, and the safe space was getting people into their hearts. And
Yeah.
so, such a powerful lesson for everyone here who's in circumstances where you want to bring people together. Yeah, take that moment to connect them back. Yeah, but you
Mm,
were able to be connected in yourself,
mm,
Sharon, and that's why you opened that portal for all those people to drop there, right?
mm,
So you weren't talking from your head like, hey, let's all take a moment. No, you were vibing and then opened the portal and
mm,
poof, and
mm,
that's what you're doing now on this call, and that is such a joy to see. Thank you so
mm.
much. Thank you so much.
And you're just magical. And thank you so much for coming. And thank you for offering that beautiful gift. I'm going to link that in the show notes so everybody can just give it a click and uh, be on their way to signing up. And I have absolutely loved this conversation. But one step further, I am just so grateful now to be connected to you. And you are an incredible soul.
Thank
And
you.
we are so, so fortunate. What a gift, what a treasure you are
You
for
too.
us.
You too.
Yeah,
I see you.
I see
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for everyone that's listening, this was a beautiful healing conversation. I felt it. I felt the healing vibration. And I hope that you are also able to feel some of this connectedness. But I want you most of all to make sure that you could give us a comment and let us know what your thoughts are, what your questions are about the conversation today. Anything that you have to say, any feedback is good feedback. And also, I have a community letter as well that I'd love for you to sign up for. So please make sure that you click on that link if you're not already receiving our information. And I just don't send a lot of information, but I do supply things like storytelling and information and links to meditations and our podcasts and all of that good stuff. So I am so grateful that you are all here. I'm so grateful that we are in a growing and expanding community. And Mahima, once again, my heart to your heart, thank you so much for being here. And I can't wait for the next time that you come and join us.
Thank you so, so much.